Okay, so in today's video, we're still using right triangle trig, but this time we're given a trig ratio and we need to find the other 5 trig functions. So what I do is I start off by drawing my right triangle. Okay, and then I need to label my angle, theta, and remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Remember SOHCAHTOA. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So anyways, I have opposite over hypotenuse, so I have 4 and 7. So just like yesterday, I need to figure out my value for this missing side, which I am going to make a. So I have a squared plus 4 squared equals 7 squared. Then I want to solve it out. So I have a squared plus 16 equals 49. Subtract 16 on both sides. I get a squared equals 33. Take the square root. I cannot take the square root of 33, so this one is just going to stay square root of 33. Then I want to label, this is going to be my hypotenuse, this is going to be my adjacent, and my opposite from the theta. Okay. So I already have sine, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, so square root of 33 over 7. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, so 4 over square root of 33. I have to simplify this one, so I'm going to multiply by the square root of 33 over the square root of 33. I end up with 4 over square root of 33 over 33. Then I want to find my inverses of these two. I have secant of theta, which I flip, so I have 7 over the square root of 33. Then I want to simplify and multiply by square root of 33 over square root of 33. I end up with 7 square root of 33 over 33. Cotangent is the opposite of tangent, so I switch that. I'm going to end up with square root of 33 over 4. And then there's a fifth one I'm missing, which is the opposite of sine, which is cosecant. And I just flipped the one that was given to me, so I have 7 over 4. Okay. Same thing for number 2, except this time it gives me cosine. So this one is adjacent over hypotenuse. I have 5 over 12. So I am going to make this one b. I have 5 squared plus b squared equals 12 squared. 5 squared is 25. B squared is b squared. 12 squared is 144. Then I want to subtract 25 on both sides. I get b squared equals, I think it's 119. Let me double check. 119. This one does not simplify anymore, so this is just square root of 119. Then I want to label. So this one is my opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So I'm going to start off by finding sine of theta, which is opposite over hypotenuse, so square root of 119 over 12. I already have cosine. Tangent of theta is opposite over hypotenuse, or opposite over adjacent, so it's square root of 119 over 5. Then I want to go find my reciprocal trig function, so I switch those. I have cosecant theta, which flips that, and I have 12 over the square root of 119. I need to rationalize my denominator, so I multiply by the square root of 119. Then I end up with 12 square root of 119 over 119. And then I'm going to do not tangent, cotangent. I'm going to do the same thing. I flip it. I end up with 5 over square root of 119. I have to rationalize my denominator. I multiply by the square root of 119 over the square root of 119. Then I end up with 5 square root of 119 over 119. My final thing is the reciprocal of cosine, which is secant. And that I just flip. I end up with 12 over 5. Okay. So take a few minutes, pause, work on the two on the back, and then when you come back, I will solve those out with you. Okay, so this one starts off with a sine, so that's opposite over hypotenuse, so 5 over 6. Then I want to solve for my a. I have a squared plus 5 squared equals 6 squared. A squared plus 25 equals 36. Subtract 25 on both sides. I get a squared equals 11. Take the square root. I can't take the square root of 11. Okay, so then I start off with cosine theta, which is square root of 11 over 6. Tangent theta is 5 over the square root of 11. I need to rationalize this one, so I multiply by the square root of 11 over the square root of 11. I get 5 square root of 11 over 11. Then I want to find my reciprocals, so I have secant theta, which is going to be 6 over the square root of 11. I have to rationalize that one, so I multiply by the square root of 11 over the square root of 11. I end up with 6 square root of 11 over 11. Then I want cotangent theta. I'm going to flip this one so I end up with the radical on the top. I get square root of 11 over 5. Then I need my cosecant, which I just switched the one that I was given. So instead of 5/6, I have 6/5. Okay. Number 4 gives me a tangent. So this is opposite over adjacent. 7 over 6. So I am searching for my c value. I have 7 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. 7 squared is 49, 6 squared is 36. And then I want to add 49 and 36, which gives me 85 equals c squared. Then I take the square root. I'm going to factor tree this to see if it can simplify more since I see it has a 5. 85 is 5 and 17. 17 is prime, so it's going to stay the square root of 85. Okay. Now I'm going to start off by finding sine of theta, which is 7 over the square root of 85. I have to rationalize that denominator. I end up with 7 square root of 85 over 85. Then I have cosine of theta, which is 6 over square root of 85. I have to rationalize that one too. And I end up with 6 square root of 85 over 85. Then I have cosecant, which is going to flip this one. So I have square root of 85 over 7. Then I have secant, which is going to flip this one, which is just square root of 85 over 6. And then I finally have cotangent, which gives me 6 over 7.